Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and today we're going east and we're checking out an Eastwood. Let's do this. This is the Eastwood EB-1. This is Eastwood's interpretation of the classic Gibson EB-1 from the 1950s. The Gibson EB-1 was one of the forefathers of the modern violin bass. However, an original Gibson EB-1 costs around $5,000 to $7,000, and I don't really want to spend that. So here we have Eastwood's interpretation of the Gibson EB-1. Now you may notice something a little different about this particular bass. And that's right, I replaced the original bridge with the hip shot. I've mentioned before, I absolutely loathe the Gibson 2 and 3 point bridges. I think they're a terrible, antiquated design that's simply there for looks and serves no real functional purpose over a modern bridge like this. So, good news any EB-1 owners, the hip-shot Gibson 3-point bridge is compatible with these basses. The Eastwood EB-1 has an MSRP of around $550 and is manufactured in China by Eastwood's factory. As for the fretboards, the Eastwood EB-1 features a blackwood, which I'm assuming is some sort of cheap rosewood look-alike, as opposed to the Gibsons, which use authentic rosewood. The Eastwood EB-1 also features a mudbucker. That's what that pickup is. These style of pickups can be found on the Gibson and the Epiphone EB-0s and EB-3s, as well as the original EB-1s. I believe the EB-2 hollow body also featured a similar type of pickup, as well as the Gibson Motown. This pickup is one of the things Gibson basses are known for. So let's check out if the Eastwood replica can carry its own weight. You guys know what you need to do. Go ahead and pinch that like button so my hand can turn back to normal. So off the bat, you know that this is a true humbucker because there's no hum from any of these lights. Off the bat, this thing sounds pretty beefy, though I am noticing a fair bit of neck dive. The neck also feels pretty substantial. It actually feels bigger than that of the Gibson Les Paul Jr. Tribute. Now I know what you're wondering, how does she slap? I mean, it's okay. Honestly, the Gibson slaps a lot better. I don't think this was really geared towards the slapper. Now let's play with the tone a little bit and see what happens. So I just turned down the tone, and it sounds like that now. Sounds to me like the tone knob is wired backwards. Great job, Eastwood. I also should say that this is actually my second Eastwood EB-1. The first one arrived looking like this. The neck and fretwork are actually pretty solid. However, there's quite a few dings on the fretboard that look like they were there from some shoddy craftsmanship in terms of hammering the frets in. It looks like somebody missed a few swings. There's some other finish inconsistencies throughout the bass, including some inconsistent staining around the sides that I would absolutely not accept on a bass that would cost twice this price. For a niche bass that's coming out of China, I think that's what I'm expecting though. I'm not expecting this thing to be perfect. That being said, at $500, this thing isn't really going to attract a mainstream audience. This is a niche instrument for somebody who wants an EB-1. The tone and playability aren't bad. However, I feel like you can get a lot more for your money. Now let's see how the tone compares to the P-Bass as well as our Gibson Les Paul Jr. Tribute. As I said earlier, the EB-1 is a bit of a niche instrument. No one is going to go out and buy one as their first bass, or even buy one as their main bass. These basses are geared towards someone who wants to play a little bit of history without paying that big historic price. So for that, I don't think they're awful. From far away, they look pretty nice too. However, under closer scrutiny, you do see that there is a lot of flaws in this. I personally don't think it's worth $550. Especially since you can get a Hofner for almost half the price. On the other side of the price spectrum, the Gibson Les Paul Jr. Tribute, which I previously reviewed, is much better and can be had used for a little bit more money than what this costs new. The Gibson also went on sale earlier this year and could go on sale again for a very low price of around $500 or $600. We can hope, right? So what am I going to rate the Eastwood EB-1? I'm going to go ahead and rate this bass 2 claws out of 5. Though the classic styling and tone is pretty cool, I feel like the subpar craftsmanship make this thing a hard sell for $550. If you're already seeking out an EB-1, I don't think this review is going to stop you. The Epiphone reissues are really hard to find, and the Gibson originals are really expensive. So if you really want an EB-1, go for it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the Eastwood EB-1. And as always, until we groove again.